Scorpio, someone is approaching you not by chance, not by coincidence, but by design. Right now, as you're listening, the universe is setting up a meeting that will change the trajectory of your life. It won't look extraordinary at first. It won't feel magical or even romantic. It will feel unsettling. Because this person, whoever they are, is not entering your story to comfort you. They are here to wake you. Your sign is ruled by Pluto and Mars, the planets of transformation and confrontation, and that means every true connection in your life comes with a purpose. This upcoming encounter will not flatter your ego or feed your illusions. It will challenge the very foundations of who you think you are. The moment this person appears, something in you will stir a mix of curiosity, discomfort, and recognition. You won't understand it immediately, but your soul will. This person's role in your life isn't simple. They are the mirror the universe sends when you've gone too long avoiding your own reflection. They will see through you past the performance, past the armor, straight into the truth you've been trying to bury. They'll call you out without cruelty, but with accuracy that cuts like a blade, and it will shake you because Scorpios spend lifetimes controlling how others perceive them. Mysterious, composed, untouchable. This person will undo that illusion in seconds. You might resist them at first. You'll test them, push them away, try to dominate the dynamic. It won't work. They won't be seduced by your mystery or intimidated by your intensity. Instead, they'll meet your darkness with calm, your depth with patience, your control with understanding, and that will terrify you because for the first time, someone won't play your game. They'll dismantle it. But here's the secret. Scorpio, they are not coming to destroy you. They are coming to set you free, to teach you that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's evolution. To remind you that control is not power, surrender is You've spent so long mastering defense that you've forgotten what it's like to be seen without armor. This person will strip that armor away, and what's left will be raw, but real. For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November 2nd, this meeting will reveal emotional truth, a connection that exposes how much of your strength was built on fear. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, this encounter will challenge your ambitions, forcing you to redefine what success means. And for those born between November 13th and 22nd, it will shatter spiritual illusions, pushing you into deep inner awakening. This isn't about love in the traditional sense, it's about recognition. This person arrives when the universe decides it's time for you to evolve beyond your performance. They are your catalyst, not your savior, not your enemy, but the mirror you didn't know you needed. So when this energy enters your orbit, don't run. Don't retreat into control. Stand still, because what's coming isn't a test, it's your next transformation. Scorpio, this person isn't random. You didn't just stumble into them by accident. Their arrival was written the moment you decided you wanted more out of life than survival. The universe heard that unspoken prayer, the quiet one you whispered when no one was listening, and it responded, not with comfort, but with a challenge. Because when a Scorpio asks for transformation, the universe doesn't hand them ease. It hands them a person who will become the living embodiment of change. This is what astrologers call a Plutonian encounter, when the planet that rules your soul decides to send someone who embodies your shadow. They are not your mirror image, but your opposite polarity, the piece you've been avoiding. If you've been craving depth, they will bring it. If you've been hiding behind logic, they'll draw out your emotion. If you've been running from your own reflection, they'll hold your gaze until you can no longer look away. That's the power of this connection. It's not just attraction, it's activation. You'll recognize them by the intensity of your first reaction. It won't be gentle. It might even feel uncomfortable. Something about their energy will pull at you not because it's perfect, but because it's real. They won't flatter you or chase you. They'll observe you, quietly, as if they've known your soul before your name. And in that silence, you'll feel seen fully, dangerously seen in a way that both thrills and unnerves you. For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November 2nd, this person will appear as an emotional disruptor. They will challenge your control, poke at your boundaries, and force you to face how much of your calm is just suppressed chaos. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, they'll arrive as a rival or collaborator, someone whose success mirrors your potential, pushing you to stop hiding behind excuses and step into your true power. And for those born between November 13th and 22nd, they'll show up as a spiritual twin, someone who awakens intuition you thought you'd lost. You'll feel it immediately, a recognition that's deeper than logic, older than this lifetime. You might think you've met your equal, but this isn't equality. This is polarity. You and this person will ignite each other's extremes. One moment, you'll feel magnetized. The next, repelled, you'll crave them and resist them simultaneously. That's how you'll know it's real. Because the purpose of this connection isn't to soothe you, it's to evolve you. Pluto doesn't send soulmates. It sends catalyst people who break your patterns so you can meet yourself in the aftermath. And yes, it will be intense. Conversations with them will feel like confessions. Their presence will force you to stop lying not to them, but to yourself. They'll notice the little details you thought you hid, the tremor in your voice when you're hurt, the way you withdraw when you care too much, the silence you weaponize when you're afraid to lose control. They won't fall for your disguise. They'll meet you there, in the dark, and ask, "Why are you still hiding when I can already see you?" At first, you'll hate it, because for the first time, you can't manipulate the narrative. You can't dominate the energy. This person doesn't orbit you. They match your gravity. They carry the same depth, the same wounds, the same fire. They don't chase you, they mirror you. And in that reflection, you'll see what still needs healing. But if you surrender, something extraordinary happens. The connection begins to transform you from the inside out. You start softening. You start speaking your truth without fear. You start realizing that real power isn't control, it's connection. You start remembering who you were before you learned to hide behind your strength. This person's role isn't permanent, but it is pivotal. Whether they stay for a season or a lifetime, their presence will mark the moment your soul shifted. After them, nothing will taste the same. Not love, not ambition, not silence. They change how you experience everything. Because they remind you what it means to feel again. The universe sends a person like this only once in a great while. They're a doorway, not a destination. You walk through them to reach a version of yourself that was trapped under years of protection. They're not here to complete you, they're here to awaken you. So don't resist this meeting. Scorpio, don't question it. Don't overanalyze it. Trust what you feel. The universe didn't send them to destroy you. It sent them because it's time. You've reached the edge of your old story. The next chapter begins the moment you let this person in, not to fix you, but to remind you that your soul is already whole. Scorpio, you've met the catalyst, and now the universe is watching what you'll do with it. Because this is the moment it's all been leading to, the trigger. The energy between you and this person has reached critical mass, and you can feel it. The air around them feels different. The silence between you feels heavy, electric, alive. Something has shifted, but you can't explain it. And that's exactly how transformation begins. The trigger doesn't come as lightning, it comes as reflection. This person says something small, something ordinary, and suddenly it cuts deeper than they meant it to. They touch the exact wound you thought you'd buried, the insecurity, the fear of abandonment, the memory of not being enough. You'll feel it rise through you like fire, raw and unfiltered. And in that moment, you'll realize this isn't just about them. It's about you. This isn't a test of love. It's a test of evolution. For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November 2nd, the trigger will hit emotionally. It will force you to face the way you attach how you crave intensity but fear surrender. You'll be asked to choose vulnerability over control. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, the trigger is about purpose, that confrontation between what you're doing and what you should be doing. You'll feel cornered, as if the life you've built no longer fits. And for those born between November 13th and 22nd, the trigger is spiritual, an awakening that feels like loss before it feels like clarity. Pluto is at work now. When this planet activates your chart, it strips everything false. It doesn't care about comfort. It cares about truth. You might feel yourself unraveling, crying without knowing why, arguing over nothing, feeling drawn to isolation. That's your soul stretching. That's the death of the old you. The universe is forcing you to face everything you've avoided, the patterns, the cycles, the ghosts. You can't hide anymore. Mars, your co-ruler, amplifies this process by demanding action. You'll feel restless, impulsive, maybe even angry, not at them, but at yourself for feeling so out of control. That's the irony. The control you've spent years building can't survive this kind of truth. The more you fight it, the more it burns. The more you surrender, the more it transforms. The universe doesn't want your strength. It wants your honesty. This person, your catalyst, won't fix it for you. They'll just stand there, calm, watching, while everything you thought you understood about yourself starts to collapse. They won't comfort you because they know that what's falling apart is meant to. And in your anger, in your fear, in your breaking, you'll see it, the truth. You were never being punished. You were being purified. Every Scorpio faces this moment, the point of no return. You'll have a choice: retreat back into your armor or walk through the fire. The fire hurts, but it frees you. You'll realize that vulnerability isn't the opposite of power, it's its truest form. The ones who can't face their own reflection will crumble under this energy. But you, Scorpio, you were born for this. You were built to burn and rise. Once you stop resisting, everything changes. The emotions that felt unbearable start to clear. The person who triggered you becomes less of a threat and more of a mirror. You'll stop blaming them for waking you up and start thanking them for it. The pain doesn't vanish, it transforms. What felt like chaos becomes clarity, and when the transformation settles, you'll notice something extraordinary. The fear that used to rule you is gone. You'll walk lighter, speak softer, feel stronger. You'll understand that nothing real can be lost, and nothing false can survive the truth. That's the initiation, the point when Scorpio stops being haunted and starts becoming divine. Scorpio, the fire has passed. And what's left is the stillness, that strange quiet after the storm when everything smells like smoke and truth. You've survived the burn. And for the first time in a long time, you can feel what freedom actually is. It doesn't roar, it hums. It doesn't chase, it attracts. It doesn't fight, it knows. That's where you are now, in the space between destruction and resurrection, where the universe rebuilds you cell by cell. Pluto has done its work. Every illusion has been peeled away. Every false identity burned down. What remains is pure essence, raw, grounded, magnetic. You've stopped seeking validation. You've stopped explaining your sensitivity. You've stopped apologizing for your depth. The truth is, the things people once criticized you for, your intensity, your emotions, your control, have become your compass. You no longer try to hide them. You use them. And that's why the energy around you is changing. People will begin to sense the shift before you even speak. You'll notice it, how rooms go quiet when you enter, how eyes linger a second too long. That's not ego. Scorpio, that's presence. You've become the embodiment of transformation itself. And the world can feel it. You don't project power anymore. You are power. You've become the calm in chaos. The quiet authority that needs no approval. Mars, your co-ruler, has shifted too. It's no longer urging you to fight or chase. It's urging you to create. You'll start feeling bursts of clarity. A sense of purpose rising like light through cracks in the dark. Ideas will come. Opportunities will find you. And people who once doubted you will now seek your guidance. You won't need revenge or validation. You'll have results. You'll realize the real victory isn't proving anyone wrong. It's outgrowing the need to. For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November 2nd, your rise appears in love, a new kind of connection where you're seen and not studied, where you're met, not mirrored. You'll no longer crave intensity for its own sake. You'll crave peace that feels alive. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, the rise is professional. You'll reclaim power in your work, speaking with authority that commands respect. And for those born between November 13th and 22nd, the rise is spiritual, a deep knowing that what you lost was never really gone. It simply changed form. The most striking part of this phase is how unbothered you'll feel. Things that once triggered you will barely graze you now. You've developed emotional immunity, not because you've numbed yourself, but because you've mastered energy. You know when to engage and when to walk away. You know when to listen and when to vanish. That's the quiet strength of Scorpio reborn, the kind that doesn't seek attention but receives it effortlessly. The universe has officially handed the reins back to you, but this time, you're steering differently. You're no longer driven by fear or control. You're driven by purpose. You've learned that surrender isn't weakness, it's strategy. And because you've learned how to let go, you can now attract everything that once ran from you. This is the rise of Scorpio in its purest form, magnetic, mysterious, unstoppable. The world will call it luck, but you'll know its alignment. The person who triggered your transformation will either fade or evolve with you. But either way, their purpose is complete. They came to wake you, not to stay forever. The gratitude you feel toward them will replace any lingering pain, because now you understand every person who breaks you is a sculptor sent by the stars. But the story isn't over yet, because the rise isn't the end, it's the beginning of mastery. You've become light born from shadow, and the universe is about to test how you'll use that light. Scorpio, the time has come. The portal has closed. The dust has settled, and what remains is you unmasked, unshaken, unstoppable. The transformation is complete. And now the universe stands back to watch what you'll do with the power it has returned to you. This is not the same kind of power you used to chase, the kind that depended on control, attention, or revenge. This is sacred power, the kind that flows quietly, confidently, and can change everything without needing to announce itself. You've walked through every shadow Pluto could conjure. You faced heartbreak, loss, silence, and surrender. You've been forced to stand alone and discover that solitude isn't punishment, it's initiation. That's what makes you different now. You no longer draw strength from chaos, you draw it from peace. You no longer crave validation, you crave authenticity. The Scorpio who once needed to prove their worth has vanished. In their place stands the Scorpio who knows this final stage of the journey is what astrologers call the phoenix cycle, when your soul, after being burned down to its bones, begins to radiate light so pure that it becomes magnetic. Mars and Pluto are aligned now, amplifying your energy tenfold. People will sense it without understanding it. They'll call it luck. But it's not luck, it's mastery. The universe bends differently for those who've survived their own destruction. You've learned how to work with energy instead of against it. You've become fluent in the language of transformation itself. For Scorpios, born between October 23rd and November 2nd, The awakening will show through connection, meeting people who reflect your healed energy instead of your trauma. These are your new soul alliances, not karmic repeats. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, your awakening arrives through purpose, career shifts, creative breakthroughs, or sudden clarity that turns everything you've touched into gold. And for those born between November 13th and 22nd, this awakening is cosmic, an intuitive expansion so profound, it feels like remembering something ancient that's been asleep in your soul. You've become the mirror that no one else dares to hold. You bring truth into every space you enter. And that truth changes things. People won't always know why they're drawn to you, but they will feel safer, clearer, and more awake after being near you. That's your new role. Scorpio, not the destroyer, but the alchemist. You were born to transform, but now you transform through grace, not through war. You'll start to notice how your life begins to organize itself around this new vibration. The right people will stay, the wrong ones will drift. The opportunities that align with your soul will appear without effort. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you command through presence. This is what it means to live in alignment with Pluto's highest vibration power without control, depth without pain, intimacy without fear. Look at how far you've come, from the chaos to the clarity, from destruction to divine order. You've learned that endings are not failures, they're portals. Every heartbreak was a gateway. Every silence was instruction. Every loss was love in disguise, teaching you what could never be taken from you. You were never meant to be tamed. Scorpio, you were meant to transform the very ground you walk on. And that's your final revelation, that the universe was never against you. It was always protecting you, preparing you, refining you. Every painful chapter was a rehearsal for this, your awakening. Now, the world will feel your return, not as the scorpion hiding in the dark, but as the phoenix blazing across the sky. You've become what you were always destined to be, the living proof that nothing truly dies. It only changes form. Scorpio, your purpose is clear. Now, you are the rebirth. You are the reminder that power doesn't come from resistance. It comes from surrender. And when others ask how you survived it all, you'll simply smile. Because they'll never understand that for a Scorpio, every ending is just another beginning.
How shiny this one is! Wow, that looks perfect! Let's get this last batch cleaned up.